Welcome, everyone. This is Holland Hubert speaking, calling in from Prince George's County, Maryland. I am a sophomore at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, majoring in biology on the pre-medical track. I am an alumni member of Patriots Nesby Junior Chapter and want to welcome you to the Patriots Nesby Junior Chapter podcast. Let's keep it moving on the podcast, sponsored by SA Tech, Northrop Grumman, and the Richmond Foundation. Today, we have a very special guest with us today, Mr. Paul Davenport. Mr. Paul Davenport is a previous mentor for students at Patriots. While he was on the Patriots' first robotics competition team, he served as the instructor for building robots and has worked with some of the largest IT companies. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Once again, welcome to the Let's Keep It Moving on the podcast show. Before we get started, can you tell me about your background and some of the companies that you have worked for? I'm sure our students would love to learn about your career and what you do.
Well, I mentioned 4 companies. Well, I currently work for Microsoft, and what I do there, I do corporate compliance and government regulations of software products before they release to the customer. Make sure they meet regulations and guidance. And they're very usable for the customer. I worked at Lockheed Martin. There, I was a cyber systems engineer. In that type of arena, I worked at Northrop Grumman. I was a radio frequency engineer, and I worked at General Dynamics as a test engineer of software products. Working on it. Yes.
So you've done a lot.
Yes.
And I understand that you have some history with the Patriots Technology Training Center with your children and your wife. Mr. Davenport, you brought the whole family. Can you tell our audience how you heard about Patriots?
Well, my kids and Kaleem Care, he has a nonprofit organization as well, as the Patriots does. And anyway, his kids and my kids competed in the competition in Largo, an environmental project, and they actually won the competition.
Wow.
And Thurman Jones happened to be there. I think he was the coordinator of it, I believe. And at that time, I believe he saw me and my kids, and I think he tried to talk to Kaleem Care's kids as well, but I think they were on their way out of state. They moved out of state. But Thurman Jones talked to me and convinced me to have the kids out. But, my technical background, so I started helping mentor the kids, where it first began at Central High School.
That is good. Did you see any improvements among your kids or among your kids as they were with the organization?
My kids?
Yes.
Yeah. One of them majored in computer science.
Wow.
He went to the University of Maryland. And the other child, he started off at PG Community College.
Wow.
And he eventually went to the University of Maryland as well, and majored in health.
Well, congratulations to you.
And my daughter, she went into the business field. But
Wow.
a lot of kids I interacted with from different schools, and homeschooled children and kids from other high schools.
That is great to hear.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hear you were the engineer in putting the robotic team together. Can you give an overview on you, the volunteers, and how the students built the robots?
Since I have a background in electrical engineering, I help the kids build the electronic pieces of the robot. I have some programming skills, so I help them program the robots in LabVIEW. LabVIEW was a programming language or tool. And to the point where I got 8th graders able to program robots, because it's very user-friendly and graphical based, and anybody can pick it up once you start learning how to use it. And so I helped them in LabVIEW, program the robots, electronics, but I wasn't mechanically inclined, so I had mentors with mechanical backgrounds help build a robot.
Wow. So who are some of the volunteers you've worked with? And with that, have any of them had a lasting impact on you?
Yeah, some of them, like Dr. Clay Wilson, he was the original mentor. Cherry Hayes from Bowie High School, Norris Powell from Central High School. Let me see, I had my son Marcellus Davenport, he mentored for a little bit. Also, the Howard University students came to help mentor the kids at, I believe it was at Central High School as well. Parents helped out in different ways. Jonathan Wilkins, He's
Mhm.
assistant engineering manager. He helped out, and his kids were homeschooled. They helped out as well.
Wow. So I hear you mention the Howard students. How were you able to get in contact with them and bring them in to really help?
Well, actually, it was Thurman Jones who did that
Wow.
because since he had so many things going on, he just happened to be in contact with them and
Hmm.
encouraged them to come along. And then once they came along, I sat down with them and showed them what we were doing.
That's really
And then
good.
and they picked up and they started immediately working with their kids individually.
That's really good. And I hear that you've been doing a lot to really help out the team or have done a lot.
Yeah, I've done it I mentored them for 7 years, from 2007 to 2014.
Wow.
Yeah,
Seven
yeah,
years.
7 years. It was yeah,
That is amazing.
it was at Central High School. No, excuse me. It started, started at Central High School,
Hmm.
navigated to Bowie High School, navigated to Forest Field Military Academy, and then it navigated back to Central High School.
Wow. So is it still at all of those schools as well?
No, it was Thurman Jones' team, the Patriots team. Just that
Hmm.
he navigated his team to different schools
Okay.
over the years, because one school couldn't, they had to end it, and then so another school picked it up.
Hmm.
So he just moved his team around to the different schools, and
Okay.
I mentored everywhere I went with them.
Well, that's good. That is good. You've been with the team for a long time.
Yeah.
So, what competitions did your team compete in during your time at Patriots, and what were they like?
Several teams times they competed at University, excuse me, the Chesapeake Regional, and it was first held at Naval Academy. So we
Hmm.
started. It's normally in the spring, like April timeframe. So we've competed over the years at in the regional Chesapeake Regional at Naval Academy, and then it navigated over to University of Maryland Xfinity Center. So back-to-back years over there, and a couple of those years we made it. We won it. For example, we when we started in Naval Academy, we won the championship. So we played in the championship competition, which was in the Atlanta, Georgia Superdome, and that was 2009. All the kids got to go.
Wow.
And then 2011, we made it to into that championship, which it was at the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, Missouri.
Hmm.
So we took the kids out there that year.
Wow. So, you guys got to travel a lot?
Yeah, a couple of times to Atlanta and then St. Louis. Uh,
Wow.
and then a lot of times in the local area, going to different high schools in Virginia. Like
Hmm.
like they have little training sessions prior to the Chesapeake Regional Championships in the region. We
Hmm.
would go to like some schools that would have free training, like C++, the different applications we were using to program the robots,
Hmm.
electronics training. So different schools were hosted, like in Virginia and sometimes in DC at McKinley Tech.
Wow. So, you guys not only got to travel, but learn a lot about coding and things like that.
Yeah, the kids got to learn a lot. They attended different sessions at the schools and the training sessions. They could
Well,
decide which training course they wanted to attend.
that sounds amazing. So, to end this conversation today, what advice would you give students who are interested in pursuing the same career as you?
I would say always believe in yourself, put one step foot forward, and just try it out. You want to major in math or mathematics or engineering or computer science, just go for it. Don't sit around talking about it. Just go for it and try it out. Let's see, and then just believe in yourself, and and I believe you can do it.
That is such great advice from Mr. Davenport. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this interview today.
Okay, you're welcome. I was glad to be here.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed the interview, and I want to thank every one of our listeners for jumping on the Let's Keep It Moving on the Patriots podcast. We would also like to thank our sponsors, SA Tech, Northrop Grumman, and the Richmond Foundation. If you would like to hear this podcast or share it with your friends, please go to the Patriots Nesby Jr. website, www.patriots-ttc.org. Please send us an email at podcast@patriots-ttc.org and let us know what you think about our show. Until our next show, let's keep it moving on the Patriots Nesby Jr. podcast. This is Holland signing off. And so that's where it basically ended. Thank you so much for joining us for this interview. I hope it was enjoyable and not too long.
Oh, it was enjoyable, and I appreciate you inviting me.
Of course. Thank you so much. And
Okay.
Ms. Pendleton, is there anything else that you need on your side, or Does everything seem okay?
Thank you so much for getting on the podcast as well.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Holland. Once again, such a joy.
Of course. And I do have a quick question for you, Mr. Davenport. So you said your students went to, not your students, your children went to University of Maryland. How did they like it?
They liked it quite a bit. They liked it quite a bit. It prepared them real well. They liked it. One stayed on campus for a little bit, and the other one he commuted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, very well developed programs over there.
Because I was looking into it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and they've met a lot of people. You know, they study with different people, so you can develop relationships and study partners. And
Do you know how they felt in terms of like diversity?
oh, I say diversity. It was they were very in diverse groups. They were
Okay.
they liked it. It was a lot of diversity and different groups you could associate with. So they hung out a lot with their friends,
Okay.
and so it was very. They would go to different events and probably take a local trip somewhere or something like that. So I think it was very diverse. You could find groups that you can associate with,
Okay.
and that you feel comfortable with. So I think it's a good atmosphere, I believe.
Okay. And I only asked because I'm interested in University of Maryland for med school. And so diversity was kind of like a big thing for me because I go to HBCU now. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
Okay. That's good. All right.
So Ms. Pendleton, is that all today?
That's it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay. You're welcome.
And so have a good one and have a great rest of your day. I hope you
y'all
enjoy
too.
this holiday.
Y'all have a nice day too. Happy
You
MLK
too.
Junior Day. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.